We live right now. This is actually I think this is my third or fourth one that I'm doing a podcast with somebody else.
Okay.
So this is my friend Mitchell. He's a very interesting guy. So I really wanted to talk to him about stuff, life. We did actually talk a little bit in our recent trip, and I do want to get his idea on things. But before we get going, could you tell people who you are?
Yeah. So my name is Mitchell McElroy. So I guess I could say a bit of a, I wouldn't say jack of all trades, but I do dabble in different things. So like I'm an app creator. So I created a shopping list app that I use to shop. It gives all the aisle locations of different grocery stores because I've realized this, a bit of an avid shopper. And so I'm an app developer. I'm also a teacher. So I teach history, world cultures, Texas history, U.S. history, and I'm also just a bit of a connoisseur of many things. Coffee actually being one of them. I actually was a little nervous about coming on here, and I told Oki that I don't know if I'm going to be a great guest
Sorry.
because I actually stopped drinking coffee after being an extremely I would say coffee dependent human being for a very long time. So I know a lot about coffee, love coffee. I just don't drink it like I drink it anymore. But that's
Okay.
me.
You bring up a good point right now. You said coffee dependent person. So
Definitely.
it was more so just to keep you up alert. It wasn't about the taste at all.
Honestly,
Really, where's your coffee journey? Where did it start?
my coffee journey started when I was when I worked at First Data. It was a job that it was a First Data, also known as Telecheck, if you ever heard of them. But it was a job where it was just the mundane, repetitive tasks, and I often found myself kind of getting bored and unable to perform at a high level without the coffee. And they would, it was it was a culture there where it was just coffee all day.
Yeah.
So they would just keep coffee. And so I was like, let me try this. Everybody else is doing it. I started drinking it, and I noticed that I got the surge of energy. I was able to do my work and all that, and then that's where it started for me. Where I realized that there's something to coffee, but I still wasn't quite, addicted, or not, I wasn't addicted until I started working at Capital One Bank.
Gotcha.
That's when I needed coffee to function. Could not do my job without it.
I see.
Yeah.
So it really never was about the taste of coffee. It's just like, okay, I need this. Did you drink it black or did you drink it with creamer? How'd you partake into it?
Yeah, I guess that's how I know it wasn't about the taste because I used to put a lot of hazelnut creamer and sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I did that a lot, so it wasn't about the taste. Plus, they weren't giving us the best coffee either.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You had to. A lot of it was burnt. It tastes like burnt coffee pots.
Yeah.
People were barely rinsing out the pot before they make a new pot, so the coffee was gross and cheap. So I mean, you had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Cool. So you said you stopped drinking coffee over a year now, right?
Yeah, it's been.
What was the reason why?
For me, it was health related. So it started with me having like high blood pressure issues, and then having acid reflux issues. And then just from there, trying to change everything but the coffee, and not seeing the results. And then finally, just after I stopped drinking coffee, it could have been that in combination with everything else I did. But when I stopped drinking the coffee, that's when I just noticed like some substantial changes and improvements in my
Big difference.
health. So, yeah.
So how do you go about? I guess. Do you think the whole like coffee thing of energy and all that is that how do you cope with it now, or is it not so much of a coping thing about like of course it gives you that boost of energy, but how do you go about I guess creating that for yourself? Do you just get more sleep?
To be honest with you, That is the answer. It's more sleep. Nah, really, because the one thing I liked about coffee was it allowed me to like get into go mode. Once I put the kids to bed and once all the that stuff is done, I can drink a cup of coffee and perform like a machine, like a robot, and get a lot of stuff done. And I like that about drinking coffee. But since I don't have the coffee, I do have to just get more sleep, and my energy comes from just sleep, and then also I noticed too, like when I exercise in the morning, I get, for some reason, I just have more energy throughout the day. But at the end of the day, sleep is
that's the main thing.
That's
Okay.
What it is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So if you haven't had it in a while, let's go ahead and taste this coffee. I made this earlier, but truthfully, I guess to me, the best time or the best flavor of coffee, at least to me, and probably some others, is when it's actually colder.
Okay.
More so room temp. And this is what this is right here. So can't remember which coffee this is that I roasted about a week ago, and I just brewed it probably about 45 minutes ago.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and taste it and let me know what you think about it.
All right.
What are you tasting?
Like as far as like the notes or just in general?
Just in general.
I don't know. I guess it's been so long. No.
Yeah.
Previously, I probably been like, oh, I tasted a bit of chocolate notes in it. No. It's that. If I had to guess, because I don't want to be wrong here, but I would say this is it's not a dark roast.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay. Okay. So maybe like I don't know. Is it maybe medium roast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As far as the flavor profile, I don't know, man. I don't want to be wrong. For example, I don't. It doesn't taste. I don't taste anything chocolatey at all.
Okay.
No.
So it tastes more like fruity. Something type of fruit on it.
Yeah. Maybe citrus. No.
I get citrus. Me personally, I get citrus. I get a little bit of red fruit.
Okay.
So more so like a strawberry. I wouldn't say a cherry, but to me, I'm a big. I did a podcast a couple weeks ago, and it was mainly talking about grapefruit. And a lot of times people don't like grapefruit, mainly because when they eat grapefruit, they tend to eat grapefruit that's like on the rind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not keen to actually peel the actual grapefruit, because to me grapefruit is extremely sweet. It's probably more balanced than the orange and the lemon and everything if you eat it to me the proper way.
Yeah.
But this tastes like you're eating grapefruit that has the rind on it, the bitter pits and everything.
Yeah.
And it lingers and it kind of just stays there. To me, it's not too appetizing. It's not too something that I want to keep drinking. Me personally.
Yeah.
You know, there are a couple things that I can do with the roasts in general, but did you like it?
I mean, yeah. No, I would probably have, just in my coffee drinking days, I would have put a little bit of probably milk in there.
Okay. Yeah.
But it wasn't. I mean, it's good as far as.
Okay. Wait. Let me try that real quick.
I stopped doing creamer.
Because of the bad stuff that's in it.
Yeah, honestly, the ingredients. I would just use like either like a half and half.
Yeah, something more natural.
Yeah.
Like
or just milk. Yeah, half and half or milk. But mainly because of the ingredients. Yeah, that's what it was. Even though I would say, actually, I started buying hazelnut syrup or whatever.
Okay.
Which honestly, it still wasn't. You're trying to be healthier, but at the end of the day, some stuff you got to just cut out.
Still have a couple of things that you just like.
Yeah, because I mean, I wanted the hazelnut flavor, but if you get it in the creamer, sometimes it's just artificial flavor.
Yeah.
So I'll get the real hazelnut stuff, but then even that has so much like sugar in it. So, but yeah.
Okay, just taste it a little bit. Don't have to kill it or anything.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I did kill that last one. Huh?
Oh no, it's good. It's good.
Oh, Habits Die Hard. Yeah, man. No,
Yeah,
that's
a
good
lot
right there.
better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but that has some sugar in it too. I can tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That one, that creamer's like it's probably the one that has the least amount of sugar on it, but it's still very it's still there. You still
Yeah,
taste it.
man. I'm starting gonna get me back itching. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
coffee. Yeah, man. Get another cup. Nah, that's good. That's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, but in the beginning of my journey, I was really big on like being as pure as possible. You know, when I drink coffee. But tell you the truth, a lot of times, especially during nighttime,
Yeah.
I have decaf, and then when I have my decaf, I have my creamer on it.
Let me ask you this: like the decaf, do you do like the Swiss water decaf?
I think it just depends on the whichever one it may be. I think the one that I currently have right now is not Swiss. It's like Mountain something. So that one's probably because I know it's weird because I know they add chemicals into it, you know. But no, this one, the one that I usually have right now is not. It's not the Swiss one.
I'm just asking because I tried everything, so I was trying to find like maybe I could just do a little less caffeine, and I tried the Swiss water, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you, like I know they say it has a little caffeine in it, but man, to
You
me,
still got it's still enough, right?
no, man, no. When I drink decaf, I felt nothing. So I was like, I might as well just drink regular coffee. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
decaf really is a big. I mean, you notice you don't get that boost, that surge. So so like I guess you truly drink it for the taste in it, right? Because, yeah, because you don't get that caffeine feeling from decaf.
Not really. You don't, and then I still there's certain decafs that do actually have decent flavor to me, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't really have anything. So that's why I do it at night. I could just take it, reminisce about the day, and then I can go to sleep. No problems.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Wow. Nah, you're a true coffee lover, man.
Yeah.
To drink decaf. Because I honestly I don't understand why anybody drinks decaf outside of the love of the taste.
Right.
Just because I didn't feel any.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because when I did a video about decaf, and when I was doing the video, because I don't script my videos, I kind of sometimes I even have bullet points or I just have an idea what I'm about to talk about.
Yeah.
But as I was drinking decaf and talking about it during the video, I was like, wait, tell you the truth, the real coffee drinker is still the person who has caffeine, because to me, decaf still has a taste to it, to where it takes away for what you're really tasting in that coffee, you know, because it goes through this process of stripping the coffee as much as you can.
Yeah.
But I always wondered, or if a producer of the coffee was able to give me the decaf version of that coffee and also the regular coffee, to see the big difference in the taste of that coffee.
Yeah.
But I do think it's the natural taste of the coffee is still a caffeinated coffee. So that's why I tend to like I do it just mainly at nighttime, just because I know if I don't do it that way, then I'm starting to get more caffeine sensitive, you know, to where if I have it like I guess kind of now,
Yeah.
I probably have to do some type of gymnastics in order to get some sleep, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't miss that at all, huh? You just go to sleep naturally when you go to sleep, right?
Yeah. No, and I honestly, like, I was to the point where I could drink a cup of coffee at midnight.
Yeah.
And I would still go to bed, like
No
normal.
problems. Yeah.
Yeah, which is I think that's probably bad.
Yeah, and I don't think so. I used to do that. I had no issues whatsoever, you know. But
Yeah.
that's cool though. That's cool though. So don't miss it whatsoever, even after having this cup.
No, I mean I miss it. I'll be honest with you. My cognitive function, to me, is off the charts when I'm drinking coffee. I mean, it's a drug, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a noticeable difference. So, like, for example, certain tasks that I would need to do, like, for example, like building this app, so much of it is sitting down, looking at code and like, doing, something that's really mundane and repetitive tasks. And at the time, because I was always drinking coffee and I'm locked in, I'm focused. You look up and you're like, oh, it's been 6 hours, like
Yeah.
But now I feel it more. So just like what I have to do now is find ways to multitask or get up and take a break and stuff like that, because I can't just sit and focus on something for 6 hours straight like I used to, just because I don't even think that's normal for a human being to be able to just sit 6 hours
Just focus, right?
and just be like, whoa, it's been 6 hours. That's how it was. So no, I miss the level of focus I used to have, and how much I could just lock in on a task and be at like optimal brain performance. Whereas now I lock in a solid hour. I'm locked in for an hour, and after that, I'll start to taper down on the performance.
Okay.
And I'll notice it.
So you just go just as pure as possible. You don't use any type of other type of stimulant.
No, there's nothing, honestly, that I can safely use.
Trust, right?
Yeah, no, because I've had people like I don't want to name any names, but there's people who tell me like, oh man, you get some something like that Ritalin or some stuff like that. Which I don't think get a prescription for that stuff, but they're like, man, it's better than coffee. You'll lock in and you'll be able to do all these tasks and all that. But I like, there's got to be side effects. So nah, man, I just at the end of the day, I just have to accept. I just accept that I'm not going to be as optimal.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I haven't.
But
been
you're
able
still able to get as many things on your to-do list or your goals and all that done, right? It's just, I guess, not as efficient, so to speak, or...
Yeah, I think what it is, you have to just put less on your plate. So
Okay, okay.
I used to make these long lists of things to do and knock them all out. The problem is I'm sleeping 4 hours a night.
Gotcha.
So now for me, I get 8 hours of sleep, and I just get less done. And I have to better prioritize, okay, what's actually important and what has to be done. Because it could be the most, ridiculous, like small tasks up there with the big tasks. I can knock them all out because it didn't matter. Because I just drink the coffee and I'm just like, woo, let's get it done. And then
get it done, yeah.
But now I have to prioritize a little bit more. And okay, what do I need? What do I need maximum brain performance to do? Let's knock that out first. And then what can I just coast through? With a little limited brain power.
Yeah.
Put that stuff at the end, and that's how I have to prioritize, as opposed to being able to be super highly efficient at everything. That's just at the end of the day, you can't say, look, I'm gonna eliminate coffee and still be at optimal. It's
Okay.
yeah.
So pretty much it's like you're still at optimal, but it just takes you a little bit longer to get those things done.
Well, right, yeah. If I do the most important things at optimal, instead of doing it in 2 days, it might take me 4 days. It might take me a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, no, but I'm gonna tell you that adds balance to your life. I've noticed just with like the developers I work with, sometimes like sometimes I work with guys in Pakistan or India or other countries, and there's that time zone difference, and so because I wanted it done now, I used to stay up and be on their time. So morning time, their time, I'm up till 4 in the morning because I want to get it done now. But now that I'm not optimal at 4 in the morning, so I'll put out something for them, and then at 4 when they're up, they post something to me. It takes me another day. I'm wait till I'm awake and I'm optimal. Then I work on it, and so everything I'm doing now takes longer.
Yeah.
But I'm not killing myself. So there's that. It is gonna make things more spaced out. Not having that coffee surge. But it, depends. Like I said, if you're somebody, if you need to get something done very quickly at optimal performance all the time, I cannot think of a substitute for coffee that is legal.
I see. That's interesting you say that, because I never really thought about it, because my thing with coffee, for the most part, I say that, but if I don't have it, is that really the same? It's like I feel very productive in all the things that I do. I mean, I guess that's the added benefit of drinking coffee, even though my biggest thing about coffee is the flavor, But it's interesting that you're saying like, hey, since I don't do it right now or do it anymore, I go about it differently, and you're still able to be as productive with the goals and all the things that you have, even though, yes, it may seem like to anybody else it's like, oh, okay, I am doing less, but you're actually doing more. 'Cause you said something very telling. It's like it's balanced. It's not just like this go 100% all the time, and then rag your body all the way down too. You're like, no, I work when I can. I do my work, and then you can do some other stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on kind of what you need to get done. Like, to be honest with you, I know there's times when people got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
You got a limited time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm all for it. If you know whatever that boost that comes from coffee. It's just I think like when I talked to you, like we had our conversation and we were in Mexico and all that. I just know you are a true connoisseur of like it's like of just like coffee. Like it's not about necessarily the effect it's giving you. You're more about the taste.
Yeah.
And for you, it sounds like you're more about the taste.
Yeah.
Like you truly love coffee.
Yeah.
Based on what I gathered from our conversation.
Uh-huh.
Whereas me, it was more about what coffee can do for me.
What it can do for you.
I didn't necessarily. I'm not in love with the taste of coffee, which is why I think I put so much other stuff in it a lot of times. And even toward the end, when I was just trying to hold on to like drinking coffee, and I wasn't doing the cream, I wasn't doing sugar.
I see you're like getting back to like it in I guess pure form. It's like let me be done with it, right? Cause
yeah, well, even then, like, because when I was trying to, I was like, maybe the cream and stuff and the sugar's bad for me, yada yada. I started, I bought some the cinnamon sticks.
Yeah.
And I would just put some cinnamon sticks in my coffee. I'd put some, I got some of that allspice.
Yeah.
And I was trying this little different things that were natural, maybe some anti-inflammatory stuff that could just enhance the flavor.
Yeah.
And so that told me then, like, even when I try a lot of different coffees, I'm just not a huge fan of the taste of coffee. There are some coffees that taste a lot better than others. Even like, for example, like cold brew. I really got into cold brew because they say, with cold brew, you don't have the, it's less acidic.
Right.
But you still, it's more caffeine.
Right.
So I noticed like cold brew, I can drink cold brew. To me, the taste-wise, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think cold brew probably is the smoothest. In
okay.
my opinion.
You know, it's funny you say that because I hate cold brew.
Really?
For that very reason.
Because of the taste or the...
I think it produces a robust type of coffee, right? But to me, it strips it a little bit, even though it extracts it properly. But it doesn't extract it as much as I usually get that I like from hot coffee.
You mean the flavor?
The flavor. Yeah. Like extract to the point to where like I'm tasting these different elements, these notes, and then as it cools down, I'm tasting something completely different. With cold brew, a lot of times it's just like it's smoother. It is. There's a hint of fruitness if that coffee has that, but it's just too. It's like it's missing the personality. That's kind of like where I get with coffee. It's like coffee does have personality. I roast it a certain way. For the most part, a person is a person, right? Coffee is a person. I mean, coffee has its own personality. And for the most part, if you roast it so many different ways, it can be a little different. Like we talk to people, everybody has a different way of going about their lives. Some certain days are more happy than others. Same thing with coffee. That's the way I kind of like look at coffee. It's like, what's the personality today? And kind of also mixed in with the way I feel and how I brew it. Yeah. So I get really kind of like really geek out about like how can I make this better? Because lately I haven't been too happy with the way I'm actually making coffee. Just because of either the coffees that I'm using, because I'm using so many different brew methods. And I'm trying to master, like, for instance, the Mr. Coffee machine. That's something that mostly everybody has.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make specialty type of coffee out of that machine. So I'm playing around with different brew temps, and it's not bringing as much liveliness in the coffee.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's just a part of the journey, So that's kind of like me kind of like going on that tangent, but yeah, like it's interesting you say that if you had to pick a coffee, it'll be cold brew.
Well, only as far as a smooth taste. I'll be honest with you, the best coffee I've ever tasted was not cold brew.
Okay.
That was just smoothness. To me, because I try, you try I've actually, I went to Colombia, and I bought some Colombian coffee in Colombia. Out there that Juan Valdez is real big, and then of course, then you can buy coffee. I figure, let me try some Colombian coffee. But in my opinion, like I tried coffee from like I think it was Kenya or no Ethiopia.
Yeah.
There's that. Then there's Colombian. Then there's coffee from Hawaii. And then
the
you
Kona.
got the coffee. Yeah, the Kona, and then you got that Peru. And in my opinion, Peruvian coffee tastes the best.
Okay.
I think it has some like cocoa chocolate notes. It's something. But no matter whenever I try different from all over the world, hot brew. Typically, I don't like the dark roast. I typically, honestly, I like a light roast. Honestly,
Okay.
Light roast Peruvian coffee was hands down my favorite.
What did you taste of the light roast?
To me, it kind of just had some chocolatey kind of notes to it, and maybe a little fruity. I don't know. It wasn't citrus though.
Okay.
But it was a distinct difference. Like whenever, and it didn't matter the brand. Like some brands were better than others, but no matter what brand I got, if they had a Peruvian light roast, that was hands down my favorite.
That was your jam.
Yeah. So I mean, no, cold brew. I just thought was when I was trying to take everything, don't put anything in it, and just be able to just down it, just to get the caffeine.
Just get it quick, yeah. That was the best application, right?
Yeah, I thought cold brew was good for that because you get a lot of caffeine and you can drink it without, you can drink it fast because it's not about taste. It's about just I'm trying to get this caffeine,
just get it done,
this boost. I thought cold brew was better for that, but when I wanted to sit and enjoy a cup of coffee, for me, light roast Peruvian coffee was. That was my jam.
That was your jam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I do have some Peruvian. I haven't had any right now. I actually, this is for the camera. This is mushroom coffee.
I've heard of that.
And the reason why I went ahead and got it was because it's a coffee alternative. I don't care for it. I may actually reconstruct it and probably sell my own eventually. That's really the reason why I got it.
Okay.
But yeah, this is it. This is I think I did a video. I haven't probably released in the next week or so. But this is it.
Doesn't smell like like coffee beans at all.
No, and it has a lot of stuff, and I did notice the properties of coffee, but it's very little bit of coffee and a little bit more of all the other stuff that they say that it does have on it. And one thing that I realized with it is it's kind of more so like where you're talking about too. There's I think there's many camps with coffee, but I think there's mainly two. You and I are one of them. You just get it down quickly. Give me that energy. Give me that concentration. Yeah. Me on the other side, I'm on the flavor side. I care about the flavors. I care about the notes. I want to see what that coffee does when it cools down because it changes, at least for me. This right here is more like just drink it real quick, get done. But it's almost like a vitamin, vitamin in a cup. You want to try this one?
I mean, not particularly, no. I mean,
no, you don't have to. You don't have to.
I mean, I'll take a little sip just to see what it tastes like, though. I mean, if you already got some made, you don't have to go through any effort with it.
Okay.
It kind of it smells like mushrooms.
Yeah, but it actually does. It actually presents itself more so like if you just have it by itself. Very no acidity on it. No, I guess it's all the offensive things that people don't like about coffee.
So just the taste.
Just the taste, yeah. It's just pretty much just as plain as can be. There's no acidity on it. There's no bitterness. It's just like middle of the road, just basic,
Yeah.
And I don't care for it, but I do see a place why people like it.
Really?
Just because like kind of like in your situation previously in your past life, it's like I just need to pick me up.
Does that do that? Like when you drink that?
It actually does feel that way.
Like the same as coffee? You get the same woo.
I wouldn't say the same. It's probably like 30-40%
okay.
of what coffee can do.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess the benefit of it really is that it does have those other properties.
Yeah.
The drawback to me is that as much as people complain about how much coffee actually cost, depending if it's more specialty versus a regular bag of coffee, is that shit's expensive.
How much was it?
I got it on Prime Day for $30.
Yeah, it is expensive.
Normally it's $40. And this is, you'll probably finish this coffee. You can probably get, this won't last a month. Supposedly this is a month supply, but they said do 1 tablespoon. And this is a very small amount of like 6 to 7 ounces of water that you put into a cup. So it's very, even a little bit smaller than that one.
And it's already grinded up.
It's already grinded up.
Yeah.
So this is it's not fresh. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
you know, so protein, 4 grams, carbohydrates, calories 25, sodium's 20 milligrams, proprietary blend 7,000 milligrams of all this other stuff, amino acids and stuff.
Let me see. It's like.
I mean, it has the good stuff in there, supposedly, you know. I guess what I'm saying is that even though it seems cool, but it's not, it's probably less economical than coffee, you know. But you do get those added perceived benefits of it.
Yeah.
You know. I think I have another one coming, the Rise that's coming too, that's probably be here in another week or so. That I'll also taste that one and then probably do a review, put that on YouTube and all that, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I purposely taste different things. Like this is just instant coffee.
Oh, okay.
You know, and this doesn't really taste like much of anything, but this is actually cheaper. And to me, if people wanted to have coffee on the cheap, they can have this, you know.
You just add that to some water. Or?
That's it. Add this to water. If you have creamer, you can do creamer, whatnot. But you know, and I'm purposely trying all this stuff just to see what's out there for what people are actually drinking, you know. And it seems like your thing is like, hey, fuck it, I don't need it right now. I'm good with my goals. I'm doing my thing, and you're moving forward with your life without coffee.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the real reason why I think I decided to just be done with coffee, it had to do with I think I talked to you about this, the withdrawals I had when I stopped. Like that, man, I didn't know, like you never really know you're addicted to something until you suffer from withdrawals.
Yeah.
That I was like, dang, like when, like if I was that dependent on it, or my body is literally
like shaking and
I had the fever, I had like the chills, and then I had it was, I'll tell you, it was the mood thing. Like I told you, like when I stopped drinking coffee, I swear to you, it was like all color in the world was gone and everything was gray.
Oh,
and,
wow.
and I couldn't get excited about anything. At all, and I really that's why, because I tried to stop coffee before. I couldn't,
okay.
Because I was like, if this is what life is like without coffee,
no,
I don't want to live life without coffee. Like,
yeah.
and when it was happening, like I could not remember what my life was like before I became a coffee drinker, because I've been drinking coffee for so many years. And then once the withdrawals went away, and once I started to experience happiness again, it sounds horrible, but it's true. Then I was like, dang, like. Oh, I was really, really addicted, and so part of it is just me being happy that I'm able to, you know what I mean,
like function without it, right?
Be normal, yeah. But I mean, I'm not, like, at the same time, if I wasn't having any health problems or anything like that, I'd still be doing it, because even though now I'm not addicted to coffee anymore, I still don't have that same spunk and that I had when I was drinking coffee.
You bring up a good point. Do you think that more people don't realize or they should give up coffee but don't realize that that's probably causing some issues with them, but they just kind of just keep going to choose to drink coffee every day?
Yeah, I honestly believe that most people who drink coffee are 100% addicted to it. Like I'll tell you, I was talking to my mom.
Yeah.
My mom, I'm convinced she's addicted to coffee.
Yeah.
Right? And my dad. But my mom, she'll say stuff like, I'm not addicted. She's like, I can go days without coffee. Right? She's like, and I drink it because I like the taste. I drink it because, hey, it's cool to sit down and have a cup of coffee. I got it. But if I need to stop, I can just stop. And then every day, literally every day I see my mom drinking
Just
coffee.
drink coffee.
I've never, and she doesn't realize it, but one day I think she admitted to me, she was like, yeah, I didn't drink coffee, and I started to like really crave it.
Shake
She
and
was like,
stuff.
she was just like, I was thinking like, am I addicted? And I just think like, one thing that I realized once I stopped being addicted is that people that have addiction to anything, you don't realize you're addicted. Like that's the way addiction works. Addiction is tricky.
Yeah.
Because what it does is, and this is why, like I told you, I was like, and I drank the coffee today. I think I'll be all right. But what happens is, your brain wants that.
Yeah.
And you start to convince yourself as to why it's okay, why you're not addicted, why you make excuses and all that. And I think most people do that. Everyone says, I can stop whenever I want. I just don't want to. And as long as you tell yourself it's because you want to and not because you need to, you don't think you're addicted. That is part of addiction. So I think everybody's different. People have different tolerances for addiction.
Yeah.
I think me personally, I have an addictive,
I see.
I can get addicted to things. Cause I think I'm, and it's not just coffee. I'm kind of extreme like that about a lot of things. When I find something I like, I get into it, and then I become dependent on it.
Yeah.
So that's me. So I think
I have that same type of situation, or I don't know if they call it an issue, but like you said, it's like okay. I'm always needing to like be intense and focus on whatever that thing may be. What kind of things are you still addicted to that you're, I guess if it doesn't pertain to the health, what kind of things are you still addicted to?
I would say all right, well, and I've gotten a lot better at this, but I think I do have a bit of a sugar addiction.
Okay.
Because people don't, at the end of the day, for what addiction really is about, at least for me and most people, is that the dopamine hit. So,
okay, gotcha.
And what happens is like I used to eat some type of dessert every night. Of course, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
So I try to do it like maybe just on weekends.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But this is how I know I'm addicted. On Friday.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, the weekend's coming. I get excited.
Yeah.
And so I'll be eating dinner, and the whole time I'm eating dinner, I'm just like, this is just a formality.
Yeah.
So I can get to that dessert because that's what I really want. That's what I'm getting excited about.
Yeah.
That's how I know I'm addicted. So anything that you get excited about, but it's like all addictions aren't bad. It's like the human brain is wired to seek out pleasure. Yeah. So it's just if you can manage it, or if it's something that's not harming you. I'm not saying like all addiction is bad. You could be addicted to things that are positive aspects of your life. I'm just saying for me, like I know I have a bit of a sugar addiction because I know how I feel. Like I'm excited about this.
Right.
And then see what else am I addicted to? Probably that's probably, I don't know. I guess I gotta give some thought.
Yeah.
I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, some things, I guess
as long as you manage it.
Yeah, like I try to live a more balanced life to where I don't need anything.
Okay.
To get by. Like I can let days go by without anything. Like, I guess anything that you feel like you need to do on a daily basis, like you need to do it.
Okay.
Technically would be an addiction or something that and I've tried to rid myself of certain addictions, but I may have some that I'm just not aware of.
Right.
My brain is still in addiction mode.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need that. You can do without that. But if I don't do it, I'll start freaking out.
You start freaking out.
So I don't know. I don't know. It might be something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you addiction. I got it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hear about this all the time, and I would laugh and talking about like social media addiction.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, what I did was I found myself like just sitting on the couch swiping on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I moved my Instagram like off my homepage on my phone to where it's hard to get to.
Yeah.
And I've I moved to it and I got to it. And there's times where it's late at night. I need to go to bed, but I just have to watch that next video.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're funny.
Yeah.
They're entertaining. The algorithm knows what I want to see.
Yeah.
And I'm addicted to that.
I'm addicted to YouTube. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Like I don't have my phone. I'm like, I
missing something.
Yeah, man. So like, I would tell you, I'm addicted to like swiping, whether it be like whatever. It's like social media, like the I'm addicted to that because when I'm addicted, I want to stop and I can't.
Want to stop? Yeah.
So that's and I'm sure there's some other stuff too. Yeah.
No, that's huge. You're right, because it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm kind of okay with certain things. You're kind of okay with, you'll manage. But you said something that was kind of, because I think everybody's terminology or what they think of what this is for their life is different. Meaning that you said, I try to live a more balanced life. So what do you mean by Mitchell's balance? What is that? Because everybody's balance is not the same.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about more so like a textbook, like a 25% here, or what is your balance?
No, so when I say balance, I guess so. For example, like you talk about like sleep versus awake. There's a balance there. So like I mean, I actually probably to be fully functional, I need about 9 hours of sleep. I'm not really an 8 hours of sleep guy. 8 I feel okay, 9 I feel great. But I mean, there's balance between just being asleep and then being awake. There's balance on like how often you eat compared to like not eating. That's why like I told y'all like me and your brother did like a 72-hour fast. But fasting is not balance. It's actually an imbalance. But it's because like everything in life has the opposite reaction. So it's like if you're not eating, other things are taking place. But you can't not eat for a long time. So you have to try to on a normal basis balance like what you're doing. So typically I only eat twice a day, sometimes once a day. To me that's balance because when you eat all day, you're throwing off things in your body. Or just like spending time or like recreation, play, watching TV compared to like actually being productive, working and stuff like that. Whenever I find that I'm doing too much of
I see one thing.
So it's just because everything, life will balance itself. Like just in general, like we try to live a balanced life, but it's gonna balance itself. So for example, if you're going too hard, you're working and all that stuff like that, eventually your body's going to break down. Like you will achieve homeostasis one way or the other. You live too hard, you're cutting years off your life. But if you relax, you might live a long time, but you get nothing done. So
right.
So everything's about balance. So I try to always be cognitive, mindful of like, okay, what are my goals here? And then how do I achieve them, but in a balanced way? Because otherwise, you burn both ends of the candle. You might achieve a lot and then be gone. Don't get to
in
enjoy
no
it.
time. Yeah.
So that's I guess I just try to be mindful of everything I do. So like eating, exercising, working, because everything if you whatever you want to do, you sacrifice. But what are you willing to sacrifice
for? Right.
And is it worth it in the end? So like you said, everybody's balance is different. It is because what people are willing to sacrifice is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like me, for example, like there's a certain amount of time I want to spend with my kids. And to get certain things done, I gotta neglect them a bit. You know what I mean? But then at the end of the day, you say, okay, well in the future, they're gonna want a dad who's achieved something,
right?
And that they're proud of. So I mean, you try to in your head say, okay, well, what am I willing to sacrifice to get that? So I'm just always cognitive of balance. But you're right, everybody's balance isn't the same. What people are willing to sacrifice is not the same.
Yeah.
So I my idea of balance is just based on what my goals are and what I'll be regretful about if I don't do.
If you don't do, I see.
Yeah.
No, that's huge. That's huge. Never really thought about that in a way to where you're like, balance. When you think about balance, you think about the sacrifice. Like, what are you sacrificing in order to do this also, right? Because that's part of it too. In order for you to go hard, you got to go hard, but you can't go too hard, too much, because like you said, where some part of the scale is, and that's cool though, because same thing with when you were talking about the health thing. It's like, wait, I'm feeling all this because there's some type of imbalance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you feel it in that case, in the majority of the things that you're doing, you're more balanced now?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I used to, man, I was very imbalanced. Like, I honestly, I would just feel like I was just going through the motions of life without ever actually, like, stopping and saying, okay, you know, like, I feel, honestly, I would say from age 30 to about 36, I was just in zombie mode. Like I was trying to. I knew what I wanted to do, but I was just going through the days. Time was flying like that. I drink coffee, stand up late, barely get any sleep. I gained a bunch of weight, but I was trying to get these things done. But honestly, I look back and this was a big blur because I never took the time to just like enjoy it or even just like be mindful of what I was doing. And I think that happens. So I think a lot of people, from what I've heard, just observed from talking to people, when you're in your 30s, that's a time in your life when you're trying to like achieve these goals. You're not necessarily a kid anymore, and there's expectations, and then you're still trying to figure it all out because you know. And a lot of people like that. The 30s, 30
you're
to
right,
35
you're right.
or so.
Yeah.
You got the kids coming in. You start going through the motions, and it's just like you're not even thinking about balance. Forget balance. You're just trying to go mode.
That's true.
You know, and you still have to, honestly, when you reach 30, your brain is still 20 something.
It
doesn't hit you that you're 35 or getting older until the health problems kick in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
true.
You're a
That's
kid,
true.
like I'm gonna eat the way I want. I can go as hard as I want. I can stay up late, yada yada. And then you look up and it's like, what? Okay, maybe I need to slow down.
I can see that.
Yeah,
you're 20. You're 20 for 15 years.
Yeah, seriously, like you don't realize it until almost it's too late, and then you have to stop.
Yeah.
And you know, so that that's for me. I think that's what happened to me. Just trying to go hard because that's what is expected of you.
Yes,
You know that you're not necessarily cognitive of like time is limited. You still, because when you're young,
No, you're not there. No, you're not there. Yeah. You're like, okay, I can focus. Like you feel like you're still Superman. You're like, okay.
And it's also the time to have the dream big. Like whatever your goal is, like $1 billion dreams, blah blah blah. Like why not? The world is still your oyster. And then once you start to get a little older, you become more practical.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you start to balance more. Like okay, I don't have to get this done in a day. Okay,
maybe, right.
Maybe I'm not
exactly. So true. Yeah. So true. Like I was for instance, this weekend I was like, okay, I know I got the podcast, see if you can do it this week, but like other stuff, okay, I want to do Amazon, work on my product listings, and then do the something else. And I was like, okay, those two things, that's enough on my plate because I got to go in the office tomorrow, talk to some people and all that stuff. And I was like, just those two things, that's it. But I'm older now, and I'm like, yeah, I can do more. I can actually do more. Actually, truthfully, I've probably done too much this weekend. Still.
But see, to me, I think that's where coffee used to come in. Like, see, now where I can tell myself, all right, these two things are enough. That'll allow me to get to bed, yada yada. And I drink coffee, limitless.
Out the window, limitless.
It's like you ever seen that movie with Bradley Cooper where he takes that pill?
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called, but
I think it is Limitless or something like that, or it's something. I forgot the name of it.
And it just turns your brain up, and man, you just go. When I drink coffee, my brain says, Mitch,
keep going.
We can do all of this. Like, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying? Like, sleep? Who needs sleep? While you're sleeping, they're gonna be out there grinding.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fall behind. And I'm just like, yeah, you're right. And like, I feel like it turned me into this, this beast, this animal.
Yeah.
Which I feel like you need to be at times.
Yeah.
But what'll happen is, and I think if you're just, for me personally, you can go really hard for a short period of time. and then you burn out.
You burn out, yeah.
And
that's the
it's
thing.
not, and that's not sustainable.
No, it's so true.
So I think maybe in the early, if you're trying to build something,
Yeah.
maybe in the early stages, it's okay to have that mindset.
Yeah.
But if you want to sustain it, actually,
It's not possible.
You'll burn
It's
out.
not possible. Yeah, because I remember in my 30s, I was going hard one time and I like burnt out. I burnt out so bad that I don't think I did anything towards whatever that may be for like a whole year.
Dang, that's
That was a
burnout.
burnout. So like you said, now I was like, okay, yeah, there's things on my list to do, but I'm only gonna do a couple each day, things each day, and then, but like you said though, you're right though, because I probably did too much because I was drinking some coffee.
Man, that coffee it's a confidence booster, man.
Yeah.
But I think, like I say, you're more mature now, and you're at a point where I think you know you're cognitive of maybe coffee's limitations.
Yeah,
So I think that maybe that's a maturity thing.
Yeah.
That maybe I didn't have. I don't know, to be able to still drink. Like for example, you knew you had to drink decaf at night.
Right.
See, me, I'm dumb. I'm drinking
drinking regular coffee, yeah.
at midnight.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
It
maybe
didn't-
it's not for everybody.
Well, I don't think it's for everybody because truthfully, I'm good with 1 cup a day, and normally, like these are props, but for the most part, like it's right here.
Yeah.
This is how much I drink, and I'm kind of like anal about it too. You see the damn line. You see the damn line right there.
Yeah.
That's as much as I will fill it up
In a day.
in a day. And once I have my cup,
Yes.
most of the time, if I'm doing like experiments, getting YouTube videos out there, I have to drink a little bit more. I know I'm gonna pay for it at nighttime, but like most of the time, I'm just drinking that much each day. You know,
You're better than me, man. That's the thing. I would drink a pot a day.
a pot
Pot, seriously. And then sometimes I make
throughout
another
the
pot.
whole day, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I would sit and drink 3 to 4 cups just in one sitting, and I didn't like this. This is your standard cup. No.
No,
I don't
no,
know
they're
what
not.
those-
They're not even up here. Like my
Yeah.
wife has the big gulpers.
Yes, I would get the giant mugs, the big ones, and I would drink.
12, 16 ounces.
I'm telling you, man, I would drink a pot easy and just be amped all the way up.
Yeah.
And then when I start to feel that crash or whatever, because
I say you just drink some more to
just drink some more, man.
pick it right back up again.
yeah, and because I get used to the feel. I like that feeling, and so when you don't have that feeling, you feel not as good.
Yeah,
And that nobody does. Who wants to feel not good?
not good, right?
So what happened is I go through the day, and I would just be at work, just fantasizing, just looking forward to getting home, making that pot of coffee, and having that good feeling again.
Yeah,
So that was a problem for me.
it's a hell of a drug. It's a
yeah,
hell of a
yeah, it was, man. Seriously. And then of course, I drink coffee, man. I'm peeing all day.
Yeah,
So I have
yeah.
to stop because I don't want to be peeing all day. My job, teaching, you can't leave the classroom all the time.
Yeah.
So I just have to stop drinking coffee and just be myself.
Be yourself,
And then, and then just as soon as I get home, though,
just
I'm putting
ready,
that pot on.
like Jekyll and Hyde, huh?
Yeah. So that I guess I don't miss that dependency.
Yeah,
Is really what it is. I do miss enjoying a cup of coffee and what comes with it. But,
Yeah.
I don't miss the dependency.
So I think we talked about this, and I think it's true too. Even though as much as I tell people I love coffee, I really do. Years ago, I wrote a book, and the book title is "It Smells Better Than It Tastes." And I asked you when we were on the trip, I was like, "Do you think this is true?" Because even though I love coffee, I'm all about the flavor, the purest form of it. The shit still smells better than it tastes. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I told you how when I go down the coffee aisles at the grocery store, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I love the smell of coffee.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, it doesn't. It does not smell like it tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is weird though, right? Because it's like, and I think that's the reason why I'm like, that's why I get disappointed because truthfully, this is an Ethiopian. And this coffee's not grounded yet. This is just literally just in its purest form. So it's
Smells
like,
good, though.
it smells like,
It smells
okay,
good.
let me go ahead and brew a cup. Let me
Yeah.
go ahead and get that taste. I'm like, and then when you taste it, it's like, So that's what I'm always just chasing.
Yeah.
Same with this one. This is a Colombian. What's up? I'm gonna make dinner. I'm gonna make dinner.
Definitely
I'm not concerned about that. I would like to use my shop bag, and I know that you all have audio going.
Oh yeah. No. I'll do the shop back.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, not right now.
I'm gonna tell you that one smells better than this one.
That one's more like intense with fruit, right?
Yeah. You said this is a Colombian?
Yeah, it's a Colombian.
And I'll be honest with you, Colombian coffee is never my favorite either.
Okay.
I always, like I tell you, I like,
You know, it's funny you say that because I just did like a whole 2 months. I spent 2 months. I bought this coffee from my old purveyor, old because I probably not gonna use them anymore, and because I was like on the list because I used to buy a lot of coffee from them,
yeah.
and it was a Colombian. It was like Peak Bourbon, whatever the hell, fermented and all this crap, you know, wet process, and I tried for 2 months. I mean, I guess I didn't realize that this is what the coffee tastes like. I was trying to get like sweetness out of it because sometimes you can really get a balance of, it's not 50-50, but you can get a balance of acidity and also sweetness on the coffee. This coffee was 100% fruit. There's a couple times where like using the espresso machine, I was able to get some type of sweetness out of the coffee and like really taste like sweetness. I've only had that in a couple of coffees that I was able to actually do. But it was a Colombian. I'm like, I think I'm done with Colombians. You know?
Yeah.
And then this one is an unusual Brazilian coffee.
That is unusual. That has some like, I would kind of, is it fruity?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, very fruity.
Normally, like my top seller Brazilian is chocolate and nutty. That's all you
Yeah.
smell. That's the one people want.
Yeah.
That's the one. But this one, that's what most Brazilians mostly taste like or smell like.
Yeah.
You know, then they kind of translate a little bit in the actual cup. But yes, this is my saga with coffee.
What was that
sometimes.
first one?
That was Ethiopian. Like a dry process.
Yeah.
Seemed like it was more mellow, but it was a.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that one. Yeah.
yeah. So but yeah, I'm always like chasing this rabbit of like, okay, let's see if we can get those flavors.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times I'm like, lately at least, I've been disappointed, you know, and again, don't get me wrong, like for instance, I think yesterday I bumped up the temperature, tried a different recipe, it was more lively, it was getting a lot better,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm like, I'll get there, I'll get there, you know.
So as far as temperature goes, like what do you think is the main difference? Like, do the higher temperatures extract more of the taste? Or is that what it is?
Yeah, they tend to extract a lot more. But then again, it gets really technical because I don't know if you see those numbers up there. You see like B, that B right there is Brazilian, and then W is like the whole bean reading, and then the G is like what it is ground. So theoretically, that reading tells me that this coffee is a very light roast.
What do those numbers represent?
That represents the color temperature of the coffee.
Oh, okay.
So like for instance, this is my device right there that I use, that turquoise type of device.
Yeah.
So I put a sample of coffee in there and it's reading the color. And then when I grind the coffee up, it's reading that color. And then it lets me know how close I am with my roast. So that's how I like tend to like play around with that. You see C up there, the 65, 70, so that's still like a medium to light roast. And then E is a little bit lower, 65, 68, so it's close to each other. So those are like medium to light. So at least I know what I'm kind of dealing with depending on the way I roasted it.
Yeah.
So when you play around with temperature, it's helpful, but sometimes with anything can go overboard. So like if I ran like 212 temperature on this kettle right here, I will extract more of the coffee from the Colombian and also the Ethiopian, but I won't extract as much from the Brazilian because it's lighter roast. You know, but as you go down lower in temperature, then you extract less. For instance, like Mr. Coffee Machine, it operates about 170, 175, which is extremely low. So you're not going to get as much extraction from the coffee. You're not going to produce as much flavor from it, you know. So it's kind of like playing this game of like, I think that's part of the problem.
What about?
I have too much information.
Well, okay. What about how finally you grind the beans?
That matters too, because if you grind it in a certain way, like for instance, if I was doing that Brazilian coffee right there, it's a lighter roast. So if I kept the exact same grind setting, let's say I used the 20, and I do a recipe with my coffee, that's probably not going to extract as much as I needed to, because I'm already behind the 8 ball. I have to go finer with a lighter roast because I have to, since it's barely roasted theoretically compared to the medium and dark roast, it's less developed. I'm gonna have to grind a little bit more, you know. But then again, there's a law of diminishing returns. If I'm doing like a 10-gram dosage, yeah, I'm gonna go a lot finer. But if I start to do like a 20, 30-gram dosage of the coffee inside of the coffee bed, then I can probably get away with it being a little bit coarser, because coarseness a lot of times, that's where the flavor really comes through. Because if you grind a little too fine, too much, depending on the coffee, then the coffee tends to be bitter.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You know? However, if you grind too coarse, the coffee isn't extracting as much. It's less flavorful and it's more sour.
Right.
But you know, sometimes sourness and bitterness, everybody kind of looks at it subjectively, but it is a difference. And I think that's why a lot of times when people drink coffee to an extent, you know, this is like a 15-to-1 ratio. That doesn't necessarily mean that I actually extracted it to where it needs to be in order for it to not be, so to speak, bitter. You know, so it's always these games that you kind of play to manipulate the coffee in order to like produce the best coffee for yourself, for what you like. And a lot of times, I try not to use gadgets so much to where I'm registering what I'm really trying to taste. I try to like just taste it and see, okay, I think it can get better. Like for these coffees right here, I know from the new purveyor that they said that these coffees taste a lot better. You'll get a little bit more sweetness out of it as you go darker. So that's the next step with these, to just kind of see what I'm dealing with, what I'm playing around with. But you know, that's the game that I'm actually playing. I did a podcast earlier yesterday, and that's one of the things that I really came to understand, or getting to understand, is that I may be a roast master. Nobody gives a shit about that. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I roast coffee and I'm gonna give you the best beans that you can afford to pay for.
Yeah.
But the real thing that I really need to master is the brewing. Because for the most part, people are still gonna brew the coffee the way that they want to, right? Like, I can give you a recipe. I go back and forth between recipes and guidelines. But for the most part, if I give you a recipe, you may follow it because it's like, okay, this person's an expert, mainly off of authority. But at the end of the day, I'm not in your house drinking your beverage or eating your food. You're going to still doctor that recipe for your own palate and for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little bit of a balancing act of like, okay, how do I really go about this? How do I really make sure that I give somebody something that they can replicate all the time. So that's kind of like what I'm doing right now with the Mr. Coffee. I'm like breaking it down. I'm like taking the machine apart, like getting my engineering on. I'm like literally like, if it says 2 cups, I put it on a scale and I put water in there to get 2 cups. I measure how much actual grams, because to me 2 cups don't mean shit. But I operate better if I know how much water that I'm actually putting in. So now that I did that, now I can start to figure out how much coffee I can actually put in the bed. And like for instance, one of the things that I'm doing lately, yeah, that's enough. So, is that I'm using this particular piece of this paper filter. This one will probably be a little bit better, but you can still put it in there. Is that this is a flatter bottom than this one, because this one's more so like a cone. So the things that I'm trying to do right now is mimic that Mr. Coffee machine. So I'm looking at it the way it brews, right? And me personally, the way that I will actually brew a coffee in order to get as much like extraction and flavor from it is that I will like brew it, making sure that the grinds get evenly distributed. However, with the Mr. Coffee, you can't do that. The Mr. Coffee machine, you literally, it has the shower head in the middle and it has an exit out here. So literally you just pour. So I'm just using like this right here. I'm using this and I'm going straight in the middle. I'm not moving purposely. And then I'll get and use my other gadgets in order to see how much of it that I'm extracting.
Well, no, like some people, like you know, the Mr. Coffee machine. I don't know about those machines, but most of the machines, the water will fill up until you put the little.
Right. Yeah.
So you just let it fill up first until it, and then put it in there.
You could do that too, because
Yeah.
this kind of more so mimics this one. Because this one right here is closed right now.
Yeah.
But then you push this down,
That opens it up.
it opens it up. But you know, the biggest things, it's like my video that actually went out today. I actually did that video a couple of months ago, but now I'm like really going like deep into the rabbit hole, like figuring out the machine.
Yeah.
Is that I gave myself constraints, because if it was up to me, I'll mod the crap out of it. But is that everybody?
Well, of course, that's probably nobody.
Nobody, exactly.
Yeah.
So the constraints I gave myself was to just produce the best cup of coffee from this machine without modding it. Like really just understanding it for what it is, seeing the drawbacks, seeing the benefits. Like for instance, I put one of my thermometers on it, and then when I put one of my thermometers on it, the temperatures were kind of like all everywhere. So I'm like, okay, well, this is the way it works. So I'm going to have to either get the extraction that I want from the grind setting, because if that coffee fills up too much, if it's too fine, then it's going to go all over, because my coffee's too fresh. That's the drawback that I have. Because if a coffee's too fresh, it just, you know. So there's little different things that I have to like kind of play around with, grind the coffee, kind of get an idea of what I'm dealing with. But I'm almost there.
I wanted to ask you just about this because my dad, he has a hand grinder.
Yeah.
And he says it tastes better from the hand grinder. And I guess maybe it's because you can control, because sometimes with that machine just bzzz,
Yeah.
you look at it like, whoa, it's super fine.
Super fine, yeah.
Do you find it better to use a hand grinder?
It's just, I don't like them. I really don't like them. Just because, actually, I did another video. I need to get that one out soon. It was a cheap one. It was like a $15, $20 hand grinder. And I use it. It doesn't work really well for lighter roast. Lighter roast is still very hard because the bean is like hard. It's not brittle as compared to the medium and the dark roast. But but the grinder that I was using, it just wasn't a really good grinder. You know, the benefits though, as you just stated, is that there's no heat involved, so it doesn't theoretically kind of heat up your beans. You know. But no, I use this shit. I got a $3,000 grinder in the garage too. You know, I can use this one or that one, but I prefer. Don't get me wrong. When I was in the storm, I kind of was screwed because I didn't have a hand grinder.
Yeah.
But I prefer those. I prefer these because I can just grind it, kind of play around with it, around with the extraction, and it's easier for me to do it. They do have hand grinders that are expensive. They're $200-300, and people prefer those over anything else because probably the burst is a little bit bigger. They can probably taste different things of the coffee a little bit more, but I can do the same thing in my big grinder. You know. So yeah, so the game of coffee is just like, it's bizarre how somebody would think that it's cheap. It's not. It's a hobby that can go into a place to where you're like, I'm spending so much money just to get this little bit better tasting coffee.
Yeah.
And I have to catch myself sometimes because it's an addiction, you know, and also playing the game of like, okay, how do I make this better for everybody? Because that's the beauty of like, especially my my main coffee, the main coffee that I'll be selling on Amazon is that it's one everybody cares about, one everybody likes. They don't have issues with it, but my biggest selling point, to me at least, that's what I'm striving for, is that you can put this coffee in any coffee maker.
Yeah.
And you're going to enjoy it, either with your recipe or my recipe. That's the hard part. Yeah. I think the marketing part will actually be okay, because if it's true, then I can just market that to be true. But there's a lot of work that I'm realizing with this Mr. Coffee machine. I'm like, this is more of a challenge, but this is a good challenge because eventually I can make an ebook out of it, put it on Etsy, you know, probably see if somebody will pay, say, the ultimate brew for Mr. Coffee machine or something like that, you know.
Well, I was thinking it was too, man. Like, from what you learned from this, man, you make your own machine. You know what I mean? Call it.
No.
Man, I mean, all you gotta do is create the specs. I mean, if everything, because you're an engineer, you know, and based on what you learn about what it can be doing wrong and how, you know, you just lay out the specs, man, and get a Chinese manufacturing company to put the machine together.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
You know, the perfect brew or something. I don't know.
The perfect brew. You're right.
I don't know what you call it, but. I mean,
no, you're right.
No one else gives it this much thought.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, man, you know, people want the best cup of coffee. They do,
you
and they don't
put
know
it in
why.
There. Yeah, they don't know why.
Cup of coffee is good, but if you got you provide the coffee, and if you got the machine, man, it's like a package deal, man.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that you're putting so much time and energy and effort into it clearly shows that you care and all that.
Yeah.
I would buy it. I'm just saying, like, if you know, I would buy your machine. I mean, if I was drinking coffee still. Right?
Yeah.
I would though, because. At the end of the day, I ain't gonna lie, man. I experimented with different types of brewing methods, like trying to let it sit and let the water sit long enough to extract more, and then just letting it go through fast. And then I ended up buying a Ninja. I actually, I had a Mr. Coffee machine, but I preferred the Ninja one. Had the
like it spins or something, or
no, it doesn't spin. It was just a different brand. I don't know why it's called Ninja, but it had a different. It's like you know, there's like those kind, like with the flat bottom.
Yeah.
It had the filters that are just kind of cone shaped.
Yeah.
So it wasn't flat at all.
Oh yeah, these are the ones I mainly use for that. It's you can kind of use these too, but this is for like the Chemex. But it's like,
I'm sorry.
It's like a cone. That's cool.
Yeah, no, but like those. I mean,
like these right here.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of my Ninja used.
And
yeah. And like I don't know. I think that the main reason why I got the Ninja, it wasn't because I was like, oh, it's not brewing right. It's because the Mr. Coffee one, you know, the cheap, you know.
It's cheap, yeah.
The Ninja one has a timer on the program. So what I used to do is, like in the morning, you know, I want my coffee ready when I'm up. So I put the beans in and set a timer, and then it would right at 6:30 in the morning, it starts brewing my coffee for me. So I got it for that reason. But then it was once I got deeper into it, I started realizing, I thought the water, it was going out too fast. Like the water's coming in, and it's coming out too fast. I'm like, there's no way it's getting enough of the beans.
It's not,
Then I start pulling the thing out and letting it fill up.
Exactly.
And once it sat for a bit, then I put it in there and let it go out. Because So just little things like
Yeah.
that I
That's
you know.
that's exactly how I use this one, because usually they call it a bloom,
Mhm.
and then these are the same. These are my favorite ones. This is the same. This one just has this right here, but usually what they tell you to do, which I did a video about that too, is where you put the coffee in it, and then you put just a little bit in there, and then you wait 30, 40 seconds.
Hmm.
You know, this one is like, fuck it. You just put this in there, and you put as much water as you want in there. You wait however long, because like you said, it's gonna extract more.
Yeah.
You know, and then the coffee tastes better, right?
Yeah.
See, but look at this. This is the issue with the Mr. Coffee,
Yeah.
because I had to mimic. If it was me, I would go around the sides.
Yeah.
But so what's happening to me is that it's extracting more of the coffee in the middle compared to the sides. But the way that I kind of play around with that is that if this is too coarse, it's just gonna run right through it. So the way that I can kind of slow it down to where that water will like keep rising, it's still rising faster than what's coming out. So if I do a lot finer,
Yeah.
then theoretically I can have this coffee over here to actually be extracted. Because when I go like this, it's not even, but you don't see any dry spots. So at least it's now purposely getting it used to be worse. It would just be like straight down, and I'm like, fuck, it's like a Keurig.
Yeah.
Keurig will only go straight down, so it won't really agitate or get the whole grounds. So kind of just playing around with like my specialty stuff, and then coming back with the Mr. Coffee. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
You know. So then, when somebody is like, what's the recipe? I could give them the recipe. Say use finer grinds. I wouldn't do a medium roast. I won't do a light roast because, again, it can get too fine to the point to where it start to overfill the basket, and now everybody's screwed. So,
Yeah.
you know, but no, I think you're right though. If I can, like you said, just telling the Chinese manufacturers like, hey, instead of a shower bed being just straight in the middle, make sure that it's wider to where it can really evenly coat the beans.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, real coffee connoisseurs, man, don't mind spending a little extra money for a better machine, you know.
Yeah.
So, I know. I mean, I spent more on my Ninja one than I did. You know, those Mr. Coffees. You know, I had
It's
like
nothing, right?
Yeah, those are cheap, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I figured too, it was like, hey, if I just realized that this weekend when I was talking about it yesterday, I was like, if I really figure this machine out, then theoretically, I wouldn't say they're necessarily my target market, but they're the people who will buy the coffee no matter what, because they don't care for it to really taste like something. They just want it to like give them the pick me up, or if it tastes good with the creamer, you know. And if they're able to use this recipe, I mean, theoretically they can probably use a recipe for different other coffees, you know, or I can probably make another listing to where this is for the Mr. Coffee machine, you know. I could probably do that too, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Just because I'm like, well, then again, that's the problem with the Mr. Coffee machine. If you have a Mr. Coffee machine, a lot of times you're not buying specialty graded coffee. You're buying Folgers.
Well, I wouldn't say that because I had a Mr. Coffee machine for a long time and I hated Folgers.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
okay.
I think a lot of people still go with the cheap coffee machine, but they still
buy better coffee.
They do, yeah.
So you got me thinking. I can probably just make a specifically Mr. Coffee grind.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly.
Yeah,
because I don't think a lot of people think that there's a huge difference in what the coffee machines putting out. They know coffee tastes different, but as far as knowing that it's actually the machine that's gonna not brew it perfectly, I don't think that's kind of common knowledge.
No, you're right.
You're
the
average coffee drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So you got me thinking. Now my wheels are turning. More things to add to the to-do list, but
yeah,
I think that's part of it. I think that's what this is, you know. And the beauty, like I said, because we had a really good talk. Our talk in Tulum was really awesome. You know, I even got my vitamins down, changed some stuff up. I'm already
yeah.
feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
Mostly keto and doing my thing. I had a steak yesterday. May have another steak today.
Yeah, man.
You know, and I feel a lot better and everything. But we had a really good talk, and I know you're like, okay, what are we gonna talk about? We talked about, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that's the beauty of me doing, at least me doing podcasts, because it's especially when I have a guest, because I can talk to myself about nothing, right? But even though somebody may say we didn't really talk about nothing, we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of things that somebody can take with them, you know. And the beauty of this is that even we had another one in the near future, you don't know where it's gonna go, you know.
Yep. No, I agree. No, it was. I feel like honestly, the talking that we had in Tulum, you know, it was a lot of stuff. I don't know. We hadn't had the conversation before. Like some of the stuff, like we already talked previously about it, so I kind of had an idea for what you're gonna say. But when you know, for example, when you told me that, you know, I'm really trying to capture like you know that like the smell of coffee in the taste. Like I thought that was. Like I thought that explained so much about your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Because to a certain degree, like you know, you're listening to your enthusiasm about coffee, it's kind of just like why does he love coffee so much?
Right.
You know? And part of me, like I'm trying to figure out, like you know, like because I told you, like I'm addicted to coffee. You know, I'm like, you know, maybe his addiction's on a whole other level to where he's
It's just
become
different.
You know,
I think it's just different.
Yeah, but I realize I don't think it's necessarily the addiction to the coffee. You truly are trying, like when you explain to me, like you trying to make coffee taste the way it smells. That's like it's almost like it's like a personal. I'm not a vendetta, but it's like you have this goal that you believe you can achieve. Like that, I understand. I understand the passion. If that's what your goal is,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
That's I honestly I have not. I've yet to taste a cup of coffee that tastes the way it smells.
You know, you say that's exactly what it is. I think that's lately at least that's the frustration. That's the thing that I'm really like understanding why I'm not so much happy about it.
You gotta get into the science behind it. It almost makes me wonder, like, does it have something to do with like, you know, the taste buds? Maybe is there something that
Different than it could be.
like I was thinking maybe something that needs to be paired with it. Like if there's something you can eat ahead of time that will then, you know, make the nose. Like, I don't know. Like that's like getting into the science of it now, because there may be something that you can maybe spray on your tongue or coat or eat or I don't know. That then connects that nasal to the taste and you finally achieve that goal.
Right.
It might be a science biology thing.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean that makes the whole thing more fascinating what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I mean if you can always make coffee taste the way it smells, I think that's $1 billion idea.
That's
Right?
exactly. You're right.
You figure that out, man. You got it.
It's over.
So,
It's
yeah.
over. You're right. Because
Yeah.
I think that's the rainbow that I'm chasing, or the you know. So I'm gonna keep chasing it.
Yeah, man.
But once I, like you said, bottle it up.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, man. But yeah, our conversation that we had in like I said, it was fascinating, man. And I think we ended up ranging from all kinds. We started talking about coffee.
Then my hatred of people, or why?
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna bring that up. But
No, I bring it up. I talked about it before too. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, people suck. So I was like, yeah, I actually find people quite entertaining. But I think we approach. I think, like I said, we approach it different. Like I was saying, like I'm often disappointed by people's actions as well. But my way of coping with it is to try to understand the mechanisms behind it, and so I can better predict it, and then it not affect me
you. Yeah.
way. Whereas you seem like you kind of just like, I'm done with them. They're all dead to me. They suck. and so, but both ways are coping mechanisms. So we talk about that. I think we end up even getting into we were talking. What was it? Because I know Jasani and Essie they turned in when we started talking about some TV shows or something.
Yeah, that's
so
right. That's right.
Yeah, we had a very
it was
wide
vast
range of topics. So no, it was good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of more so like I don't want to say giving back to podcasting, but I remember when I got out of school, I was only into cars.
Yeah.
You know, only into cars, and I was waiting for somebody to say something about a car. I'm like, yeah, I can talk now, but when I really started to be like, okay, I need to know more shit, and it was podcasting that really got me there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like now that I feel that, because I didn't want to do podcasting, like actually just talk, but I'm like, this will probably eventually help somebody, but this makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So let's just start there, you know?
And honestly, you mentioned the car. I was telling your brother, you are the person that taught me how to drive a stick. And then my first car I bought.
Oh,
was that Tiburon.
The Tiburon.
And
Yeah.
I drove that thing for 10 years.
Yeah.
I remember like that job we had. But yeah, man, you're the person that introduced me to like stick shift driving. And of course, you're the guy who you let me borrow that Initial D movie.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
I watched that whole thing and like the drifting and all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
So nah, man, honestly, you got me into that, and so I'm just saying, like, like this podcast you're doing now, who knows who you're gonna be, reaching or bringing into like this whole world of like just connoisseur coffee and all. It's like you don't know who you're gonna reach.
Don't know.
So through your passions. So yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. I think that's part of it, especially when I'm talking to other people, is that people see my passion for whatever I'm doing. Not just coffee, but other things. It's cool to also see some of their passions,
Yeah.
Because you said a lot too, to the point where like, okay, I gotta revisit that again. Even to the point where like, I did a couple of days without coffee during the storm, and I was perfectly fine. Let me see if I can do a couple days, just to kind of play around with that logic a little bit, just because it's like, how addicted am I? So it's cool to like
a week is when if you can do a week, because it was about 7 days before I started to go through the real withdrawals.
Okay,
like 2 days or so headaches.
Okay,
cravings and stuff around 3-4. Headaches around two days or so. Headaches, and then after about 3-4 days, that's when everything's gray and dull. After about 6, when you get to about day 7, like. I am not motivated to do anything. I have no passion for anything. Life sucks. If this is what life is like without the coffee, I don't want it. And then days 7 or so, fever, just feeling like off and just all that. By the time I got to about day 8, day 9, I start to see light again.
The light again. Yeah.
So it was that. So I'm just saying, if you really want to know, if you want to truly do the test of addiction, do 7 days. Do 7 days, no coffee, and see how you feel. If you still feel fine, congratulations, you're not
addicted.
Yeah.
I may try that.
Man.
It took me about a week. It took me about a week to with the whole keto thing.
Before you,
because I was like, are you serious? I can't have no bread. I can't have this.
I need some potatoes.
Not even potatoes. But after a while, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was surprised how much I was okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you? Because you were telling me that your problem was that you weren't feeling satiated without like potatoes, basically. But I was saying that's odd, because they always say the satiating things are proteins and fats. So have you found a solution?
I started adding more. I started adding more olive oil.
Okay.
To my meals, like especially like my even sometimes after the steak is done, I put some on there.
Yeah.
And then I put some on my salad too. It's been helping out quite a bit.
Have you tried avocados?
Oh, yeah. I do avocados now, whenever it's possible, and then sometimes, especially one of my cravings is dark chocolate. So at nighttime, but when I'm about to go to sleep, I have some dark chocolate. But yeah, I've been doing avocados and
like
also
regular
nuts.
Dark chocolate, no sugar, like the bitter kind.
It's like 70%.
But I mean, is it sugar-free kind?
I need to check. I need to check to see if it's.
Cause that dark chocolate when it's like straight up, it's so bitter.
It's so bitter.
Man, they say it's healthy. I'm just like, I can't do it. But yeah, no,
No, I have to look into the ingredients to see. It says 70%, but it could have some sugar in it. It's from Aldi. It's from Aldi, so European standards are a little bit better than.
they still do a lot of sugar. If it's
Yeah.
remotely sweet, it has sugar in it. Yeah, because
No, it is. It is. It just tastes the sweetness on it.
you got to get that 99% cacao, and you'll be like, oh god.
I'll probably just have a little piece instead of 3 or 4 blocks that I'm having right now.
Yeah, no, so that's your thing, dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like desserts wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I've been doing the avocado too quite a bit. And then but no, it's been great. So this is the end of the month, so I'll start incorporating a little bit back, probably like once or twice a week. Some like potato. Just like sweet potato.
Yeah.
And then if I do like a sandwich, I'll do like sourdough.
Okay.
You know. And just like keep it to like one sandwich.
Yeah.
If I do decide to do that, but for the most part, I just been loving just eating as many eggs as I want.
Eggs, yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Have
then
you lost any weight? Have you noticed any?
my belt is literally at the last bit right now. Before it was like about an inch or two, but now it's like even less than that. So I'll probably weigh myself probably tomorrow, the next day or something. But I haven't. I weighed myself when we got back, and I'm like, okay, still about the same. I think I lost 1 or 2, but I'll see what it's at.
If you only lost 1 or 2 pounds after Tulum, that's 'cause you weren't affected like us then, because we all caught violent diarrhea from that.
No, I didn't get the diarrhea. I didn't get by in that.
Hey,
Nah.
Hey, you were blessed, because man, it was about 7 days.
Dang.
Before
I was still sick though.
Yeah, nah, we were, man, because me and James both, because he said he started to feel a little better around 3 or 4 days. I was like, nah, me, man, it took 7 days before it was anything like close to being back to normal.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I lost so much weight, man. I was probably down to like 150.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I couldn't really eat.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was saying, like, people who have a great time in Tulum, like, more power to you. But I don't think I'll be returning to that place. I don't know what caused it.
Yeah.
But, man,
it don't matter. I'm not gonna go back. So.
I ain't going back, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's rough. So yeah.
Nice. I appreciate you, man. So I'll let you know when this is out.
All right,
I'll
cool,
work
man.
on it. I'm gonna try not to work on it today, but at least I'll put it in the computer.
Yeah.
And I know I'll probably have the actual like audio done by probably by Wednesday.
Okay.
You know.
I know that editing part is the hardest part.
It's not the video, audio. I mean, the video, yes, and maybe because I may play around with it a little bit, where I can do like zoom in on you versus zoom in on me and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this is probably gonna be like, yeah, this is a good, very long one. This is probably gonna be like 30, 40 gigs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But the audio one, it ain't gonna take time. I'll play around with the audio version of it, and then go ahead and take out whatever I need to take out.
Yeah.
And then that one won't really take that long, but I will still take clips in here. Probably play around with that. Just really just push it out, get it out there.
Okay. Yeah, man. Because you know me, me and James, we got that channel. I'm following this channel now. With our, I don't know if you ever seen. You probably ain't seen the video of me and James. We got a couple videos on. We got to do a little show. It's called Modern Lifestyles. So that channel it follows your channel now. So
Okay.
when you put it out, let me know, and I'll put it out across.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Across different platforms. I mean, we don't have a lot of followers on our YouTube channel, but between social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that,
Okay.
put it out there. So, yeah,
For sure.
get some more subscribers.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for having me on
Hey,
your show, man. I appreciate
you.
it. And thanks for waiting. I'm sorry
Hey,
about
man,
it.
no
I'm
problem,
late.
man. I understand.
Yeah.
I feel that.